Alright guys, let's rock and roll. I finally went and watched Transformers 3 on the theaters, and I watched it in 3D. Let me first just talk about the 3D. I didn't care for it, and I have a hard time seeing 3D, and I know that all the Transformers are kind of like this, where all the action's going on, and it just kind of blurs. It's hard to really tell exactly what's going on. At least that's the way I felt in all of them. And I felt like the 3D one, to me, looked blurry. I watched it with my dad and my wife, and neither of them complained, so it's probably just me. But if it's hard for you to see 3D, which I'm probably not the only one out there, but it just looked blurry. I would have probably preferred to watch it in 2D. That's that. Other than that, I thought the visuals were really good, and a lot of times though I felt like it wasn't 3D even, and sometimes it's hard to tell. You know, you get kind of wrapped up in it and you don't even notice if it's 3D or not. But I see the depth really well, and I didn't notice depth a lot in it. You know, there were some parts where things flew out of the screen, and I never see that. I can never see that. It just looks blurry to me. So anyways, talk about the story a little bit. Everyone who you expect to be back in this one is back. You know, all the main Autobots and Decepticons, and there's lots of new ones, and they actually did, which I like this part, they actually did say how new Autobots got there, which was cool, and they show actually how a bunch of new Decepticons get there, so I mean that's cool. They never did that in the cartoon really, and you know, in the previous movie they're just like, oh yeah, there's all these new ones, who knows where they came from, and that's kind of how they did it in the cartoon, just to sell more toys, which was really annoying. But I'm not hugely familiar with the cartoon because I don't know, maybe I liked it when I was a kid, but I haven't watched it in forever until they re-released the DVDs of the seasons, and I picked up all but the last one. I haven't got the last one yet. But I really hated, I mean, one thing I really hated about the second one was what they did to Soundwave. I mean, it was just so stupid. What's the point? I mean, the Soundwave from the cartoon was so cool. He had that chest that would open up, the tapes would fly out, and it was like Laserbeak, and I can't think of the other ones, but you know, he had different other Transformers that would fly out of him. And then the second one, they make him like just this giant thing out in space, and it's like, why? That's stupid. It's so stupid. And and then in this one, he's a car, and I thought he was stupid as a car. It's like he was never a car in the cartoon, and you know, if you're not gonna stay, kind of what I feel like they did in all these movies was they took characters and things from the original cartoon, but then they changed them so much that it's like, what's the point? Just so you could have the same name? Well, what's the good in that? And so, kind of didn't like, I think they just screwed up Soundwave in both movies. And then I think they totally screwed up Shockwave in this movie. You know, if you're familiar with the cartoon, Shockwave was always back on Cybertron, and he was kind of running Cybertron. There wasn't a whole lot going on there, but you know, he'd be communicating back and forth with Megatron. And I thought they did a really good job on the actual Shockwave Transformer, but he had like this giant worm thing that would go in the ground and destroy everything, and it's like, where did that come from? It's so stupid. Why do they have it? It's just extremely stupid, and I didn't like that. Other than that, though, I thought a lot of the characters were really good. You know, there was a lot of just generic, really generic Decepticons. They didn't name. They were just there for the big battle, and and they did get rid of Skids and Mudflap, which I think a lot of people were happy about. They were pretty annoying, but now they have that little remote control car from the second one, and the other one, I think he was a laptop, and they were kind of the comedy, and I thought it was better. You know, they were funny. And then they had this one Decepticon that looked like a dragon or something, but they never named it. They never said anything about it, but it was like in the whole movie. It was like the main character almost. And I don't know who it was supposed to be. I mean, it could have been Laserbeak, but they never say it's Laserbeak, so I don't know about that. And I thought the story of this one, though, was a lot better than the second one. Not that the story in the second one was that bad. I just felt like they added, I mean, everybody felt this way, they just added so many stupid things to try to get a laugh that it just kind of brought down the quality of the movie, and I think they got rid of a lot of that stuff in this one. The only thing is, I thought this movie was a little too long. I mean, they kind of have all this setup stuff that you could easily go on without, and I mean, they're kind of trying to set up Sam's state of mind and kind of where he is in his life right now. He's out of college and he's looking for work, but I just didn't care for it. Him and Bumblebee have kind of grown apart a little bit because Bumblebee's busy doing other stuff, and which was okay. I didn't mind that part, but I felt like the first movie was epic, and the second movie just went so far downhill, and this one brings it back up. But I think I'm getting a little annoyed with Shia LaBeouf. I think just like his character, like the way he plays the character, is getting annoying, and I'm tired of looking at him, tired of listening to him. So I don't know. I hope they don't make another sequel, just because I think they're done. But I'm sure they'll make another one. Why not? And yeah, what else was there? I felt like, you know, in that battle in the second one, there's so much emotion in there. You're emotionally connected to the characters, and I felt like in this one there was just no emotion. Like, I mean, there was kind of, you know, like they try to make you sad a little bit because Bumblebee gets into a lot of trouble, but it's like the way they've had Bumblebee so far in the first two movies, I pretty much just think of him as invincible. Nothing's gonna happen. I mean, everyone else can die, the whole planet can explode, but Bumblebee's gonna be there. You know, at the end, he's gonna be alive. He's gonna be okay. So I didn't think anything would happen to Bumblebee. I'm not gonna say if anything does or not. You know, you can watch the movie and see it for yourself, but I figured nothing would happen to him. And then another very famous Autobot, you know, who's popular and been around, well, I assume he's popular, been around for a long time, you know, he dies, and they just kind of just happen so quick, and they don't give you time to think about it. Nobody reflects on it or anything. It's just like, well, I guess he was worthless. He's not Bumblebee. Who cares? So I thought that was kind of dumb. I just felt like there was no feeling, no one to care about, nothing to care about. You know, there's a new girl, which is good because Megan Fox was getting annoying, but I think that they kind of screwed up on that. You know, kind of just glossing over people. You know, robots getting killed and people getting killed, which I don't remember it that much in the other ones, but there's thousands of people probably that get killed in this one, and it doesn't really seem like the Transformers style for humans to be getting killed. And I felt like too, like the Autobots, like even though they were protecting the humans, like when they're fighting, they didn't really care what happened. You know, they're like flinging cars around on the freeway and smashing buildings, and then I guess the last thing I really wanted to talk about was just like the Autobots and Decepticons getting killed. Like in this movie, they got killed so easily. They just took one or two shots to kill them. You know, not from a regular gun, but from the Autobots to kill the Decepticons, or Decepticons to kill the Autobots. It took 2 shots pretty much to kill them. And if you're familiar with the cartoon at all, they were indestructible. And so far, they've been pretty indestructible. I mean, they ripped Bumblebee's legs off. They fixed him. Well, everything they did they destroyed Megatron in the first one. They brought him back for the second one. And so what's the point? And then in the cartoon, though, you could never destroy him. Nothing would ever destroy him. And like, even if you destroyed him, they would come back together. It was impossible to destroy him. Which obviously they just wanted him to keep coming back. But I feel like they just made him too easy to destroy in this one. It's like, what's the point? And oh, there was one more thing too that I thought was pretty neat. They had another thing from the cartoons. They brought a lot of things from the cartoon into this one, and I believe this was even pretty much loosely based on an episode. I'm almost positive. And but they had the space bridge, which I thought was pretty neat because I mean they use that a lot in the cartoon to transfer stuff back and forth to Cybertron. So I thought it was pretty neat that they brought in another thing from the cartoon. I mean, obviously this movie, all the movies are largely based off the cartoon because the cartoon is what made them so famous. And I just think it's neat when they bring back stuff from the cartoon. But that's what I thought of the movie. You know, if you disagree with me, leave a comment. You know, let me know what you think of the movie. Let me know what you think of what I said. If you'd like to see me do more of these, like what I think after seeing it in the theater before I, you know, review the DVD or Blu-ray. But thanks for watching.